What's going on, everyone? Climate Data Report here with today's severe weather outlook. Today we're doing a video just dedicated to the severe weather potential, though we will mention some of the other things that are going on around the country. Currently, we still have a boundary that's stalled from Texas on up through Oklahoma, Illinois, Ohio Valley, and even into Pennsylvania. The boundary did, however, slip just south of Pennsylvania last night, but it's going to try and work its way back north again tomorrow, as an area of low pressure will form along this front, and that low is going to bring a round of severe weather into the south. Taking a look at radar here, we still do have this stalled boundary. As you can see here, 2 to 5 inches of rainfall have fallen from portions of Arkansas, Missouri, even portions of Illinois, northwest Kentucky, southern Indiana. Very heavy rainfall has fallen. Little Rock, look at this. You're about to get into some action. There's a ton of thunder and lightning with this round of convection that's moving through. Springfield, Missouri, you've been getting some moderate to heavy rainfall this morning. And Dallas, right now, you are getting a lull in the action. But right here, as you can see on this map, there's an area of low pressure. And that actually really is the low that we're going to be watching develop this afternoon. That's going to provide severe weather for portions of Louisiana on northward and eastward, and there is going to be a tornado threat there this afternoon, which I will show you in a moment. Taking a look at the National Hazards Map, the flood watches continue for Oklahoma on through to southwest Pennsylvania and western Virginia. In the west coast, yes, there are some winter storm warnings and advisories up in the northwest as another system is going through your area today. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center from yesterday, there were 66 reports of severe weather, 34 wind, 32 hail. From Texas on up into Pennsylvania, there were a couple reports in Pennsylvania and western Maryland, which was kind of a surprise because the SPC did not have any severe weather there for yesterday. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center for today, here's our moderate risk. Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and extreme southwest Tennessee is your moderate risk area. Surrounding that, there's an enhanced risk, followed by a slight risk. And that moderate risk is in about 2.3 million population. Today's tornado risk, they're going 15% from Louisiana in through Mississippi and Arkansas. That's an area where you really want to pay attention today and be weather aware. Have your National Weather Service radio at the standby, because if you get a warning, it will go off and it will tell you that you need to seek shelter immediately to the safest place in your home. Wind threat does exist today as well. There's a 30% wind threat from Louisiana all the way up into southwest Kentucky. And there's also a hail threat of 15% for Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. Taking a look here at an experimental model I always like to look at. Don't take this too heavily. It's a bit northeast of where the Storm Prediction Center has. So just because you see this model showing a 10% area more northeast of the Storm Prediction Center, don't think you're out of the gun in Louisiana. You're not whatsoever. The threat is real for you today, and I'll show that to you on the models. For whatever reason, this model is showing a 15% area right near Memphis. So that's something we'll have to watch today. Again, it's experimental, but at times it does do pretty well. It actually did show a tornado threat in California the other day. Taking a look at the 12Z HRRR model. And on the 12Z HRRR, you can see here, there's the ongoing convection of the current wave in Arkansas. Watch what happens this afternoon. You can see the low does get going. It shifts over Arkansas, and look what happens to the south of it. We do have severe thunderstorms that get going. We're going to show you several different views. Let's start with the south central view. And you can see these discrete supercells that pop up with the line and out ahead of the line. And those are where we have to be really concerned for a potential tornado. This is Friday evening. Anytime between 5 and 9 o'clock is the prime time when this is going to get going. And unfortunately, this is going to continue after 9 o'clock into the overnight hours. As you can see, this forms a strong squall line. I'm almost surprised that the SPC, Storm Prediction Center, has not added a 45% area for wind within this, because you can see here, there are some really damaging bow echoes showing up on this model as I advance this east. And those bow echoes could have 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. And even in Mississippi, Tennessee, look what happens here. Right into Alabama. And let's change the view here to the southeast view now. And you can see as I advance this, the squall line now stays intact all the way through Georgia. So this is something we're going to have to watch. Because earlier models had this really weakening by Georgia, and it still does through central Georgia. But northwest Georgia, you have to watch. There will definitely potentially be a wind threat for you as we head into Saturday. Moving back to the national view, there's something else I want to bring to your attention now. Look what happens on Saturday. The warm front blows through Pennsylvania. But look Saturday afternoon across the Great Lakes and Pennsylvania. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Those are some embedded thunderstorms, or discrete thunderstorms, supercells. Nothing like what you see in the south, but you do get some strong to severe storms popping up. Here's a couple segments that pop up in New York State and Pennsylvania. And with that, there's two things that could happen. One, you will have a wind threat, because this is a really strong area of low pressure. It gets down to 975 millibars over portions of Michigan. And you'll have a wind threat with this, and also an isolated tornado threat. Now, the Storm Prediction Center at the moment is not showing this, and I'm kind of confused why not. They sometimes miss these smaller events, but look what happens in New York State. Let's zoom this in to give you a better view of this. Look at these isolated storms that get going. Almost tries to form a couple squall lines, but it doesn't. You get these little hooks on here. We saw an event similar to this back in February where New Jersey, just southeast of Princeton, had a tornado touchdown. I'm not saying this will be a big tornado outbreak tomorrow, but it would not surprise me if there is a tornado-warned storm tomorrow in this area. Alright, moving on to the FV3 model, because we do want to pay close attention to the south here. The FV3 model is showing similar things to what we just saw on the HRRR model. It's not as organized of a squall line on the southern side, and it's more discrete. So look what happens here. You have more discrete cells. I'll switch this to the south central view. And when you have more discrete cells, the tornado threat is obviously higher. And you can see it stretches from Louisiana right on up through Mississippi. The squall line portion of it goes right on through Kentucky and portions of Tennessee. So Nashville, overnight tonight, you'll want to pay attention. You're definitely under the gun for strong damaging winds. And as you can see here, as I advance this, the line keeps going, and it remains broken up through Mississippi. So the FV3 model showing the tornado threat almost reaching into portions of northwest Alabama. So this is something we're going to really have to watch. And you can see, now we are into the way overnight hours, like talking about 4 o'clock in the morning in Alabama. You still have broken up individual cells. So that tornado threat would continue. As you can also see here, the line does continue in through Georgia and portions of South Carolina. I definitely think there's now safe to say there's going to be an isolated severe threat in portions of South Carolina and southeast Georgia, because there'll still be some embedded severe segments that will have strong winds. Taking this to the northeast view now. Remember what I just told you about the HRRR model showing that threat tomorrow for some isolated severe storms on the backside of this system after the warm front pushes through Pennsylvania? Watch what happens on the FV3. It's also showing these cells. So we have to be advised there could be a couple severe storms tomorrow, and maybe even an isolated tornado threat in Pennsylvania. This is showing eastern Pennsylvania getting into the game, North Jersey, and portions of New York State. It's a wild card. I'll give you that. It's a wild card, but it's something we have to watch for tomorrow. Moving back to the national view, our big story for today is, again, you have the severe weather that's going to be in the south. You also have the continued heavy rainfall. Taking a look here at the FV3 rainfall totals, it's showing another 2 to 4 inches of rain from Oklahoma on up through to Indiana, and there could be isolated 5-inch amounts. And this is basically a threat until the severe weather, the squall line, pushes through the area. Then it greatly diminishes. Something else we have to watch, check this out. This is pretty crazy. The model is also showing a snow threat for just northwest of Chicago in through Michigan. I definitely think because this low is going to be coming at nighttime through your area in through the early part of tomorrow morning, you could see a few inches of snow. Taking a look again at the National Weather Service hazards map, there is a winter storm watch up in Michigan, and there's now winter weather advisories up for northern Illinois and southeast Wisconsin, where a couple inches of snow is not out of the question. The one thing everybody is going to see on Sunday, and I'll show that to you on the GFS model, the one thing that everyone is going to see on Sunday is strong, gusty winds. Here comes the system, it blows through, and look what happens in the Northeast and the Great Lakes. You have a tight pressure gradient, and you're going to have a windy day on Sunday. It's not necessarily going to be colder along the I-95 corridor. That might not come until Monday, but it's not going to feel like it's in the upper 50s. Even though the thermometer might say that, it's going to feel more like the 40s because you're going to have wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour, maybe even isolated 30 mile per hour wind gusts up in New England. Monday, again, might be a slightly windy day, but a warm front's going to move through, and we still have questions what's going to happen with this system. Take a look at the West Coast. Yes, another strong system comes on shore in California. Something we're going to have to watch because it's been trending stronger now on the model. So more heavy rain, more heavy mountain snow. Let's take a look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, shall we? 6 to 10 days shows below average temperatures, well below average temperatures in California, above average temperatures in the south, below average temperatures in the northeast. Taking a look here at the 8 to 14 day outlook, below average temperatures for the northern states, generally north of Interstate 70 in the east. And in the south, above average temperatures. Taking a look at precipitation, above average precipitation in California, above average for much of the east with exceptions to Florida. It's going to be relatively dry again in Florida. Not good because you are in a moderate drought situation. 8 to 14 day outlook shows a little bit of improvement for northern Florida, and the rest of the southeast stays above average. The central states, this is not good to see. Below average precipitation, right where the drought is, and we did not update on the drought situation this week. We'll try and do that maybe tomorrow or Sunday. The update is out. We just haven't gotten to it because our big focus is this severe weather in the south. Finally, the northwestern states slightly above average on the 8 to 14 day outlook. Okay, so if you live down in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, even northwest Alabama now and Tennessee, be very weather aware this evening. Pay close attention. This is going to be a big day for you. You're definitely going to see the potential for short tornadoes. Some of them are going to be strong tornadoes and long tracked. This is a day where you want to be watching your TV, radio, your favorite media source, not the newspaper. That's outdated information. You want to pay close attention to this because chances are your local meteorologist is going to be on TV for multiple hours tonight doing tornado coverage. I do expect there's going to be a couple of strong tornadoes that do cause damage. If you're into the areas north and east of this, it's a wind threat for you. It's also a flash flooding threat still, especially across portions of Kentucky and Missouri. Be weather aware. Turn around. Don't drown. And if you're in the tornado area, please don't drive into the path of a tornado. Please don't drive into where you see down tree damage or anything. Just be smart. Stay safe. And we'll have another update again tomorrow. I'll probably do a short or two, probably do a couple shorts this afternoon as the severe weather threat unfolds. And I will definitely have updates on my Twitter with a link to the Twitter down below and a link to my Facebook page down below as this event unfolds. Stay safe, everyone. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button down below. If you want to subscribe and see more content, hit the subscribe button down below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone.